I'm Jared.
I'm Brandon.
And this is another edition of the Heel to the Face podcast. We're coming into WWE Hell in a Cell this Sunday, coming off NXT In Your House, and so much more, including a stadium show for AEW on the horizon. What does that mean for us going to Rochester? I think that means pretty good for us going to Rochester.
Can't wait.
The bad news is I think we'll be coming off of what is essentially an AEW pay-per-view. We'll talk that and so much more as the Heel to the Face podcast starts right now.
Fans celebrate with me from Rome to Rochester.
Bad luck to be my middle name. They might as well tag me up with my buddies from Syracuse.
So this is another edition of the Heel to the Face podcast. Brandon right to the side of me on social media at Icebreaker21, myself at KRock, Jared, and most importantly, follow the show at Heel to the Face. We're coming off of a pretty good NXT In Your House pay-per-view. Brandon, I know you were a super fan of it. You're a fan of the length. You're a fan of the show.
Yeah.
So we'll start there. NXT In Your House. Overall good show. Any disappointments? Anything that exceeded your expectations?
No, I think everything was good. I mean, everything was as advertised. I really enjoyed the Fatal 5-Way match, which I accurately predicted carrying across. I think that was kind of a foregone conclusion. Oh, no, actually, let me rephrase that. Another match that I called out pretty clearly was Raquel Gonzalez retaining, which she did.
One match you did not call out pretty clearly, though, LA Knight.
Yeah, I got that.
He's your $1 million champ, and you see this past week on NXT, he bashed $1 million man Ted DiBiase right in the head with it.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because they're going to keep drawing that storyline out a little bit. I think eventually you're going to see Cameron Grimes. I think you're going to see him as the $1 million champ because I think what's going to happen is you're going to see this feud just keep building and building, and I think eventually he's going to get over on LA Knight. Yeah, I was wrong on that one. I was hoping it was Cameron Grimes, but I believe at the end it will be Cameron Grimes.
So I'm looking at this card right now, and not to bring up anything old, but you know, one thing I noticed, and I think I brought this up at the time, this is going on 2 months ago, WrestleMania time, and this card kind of shows you an example. Yes, there was only 5 matches on the main card here for NXT In Your House, but I'm looking at the times. The main event, 26 minutes, 15 seconds. That's about 4 minutes longer than the longest match, which was the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that's your main event here. But you look at matches like LA Knight and Cameron Grimes, that went 19 minutes and 30 seconds. That's longer than Shane and Braun. That's longer than, I even think that's longer than most other matches on the WrestleMania card, if not all the matches. I think the only other match that came close to that was the main event for the women on Saturday night, Bianca and Sasha. But yeah, that's longer than Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, but that's longer than every other match on the WrestleMania card. And this was the $1 million championship. This wasn't the IC belt. This wasn't Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. You know, all these matches we looked forward to so much at WrestleMania. And here at NXT, this is what I was talking about when with WrestleMania kind of under delivering is this match here in the middle of the card. 20 minutes. That's as long as your WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, no, and you know what though? I will say I like the way they did things because I see in total there was 6 matches in total from.
Well, I mean, I guess if you count the pre-show.
You count the pre-show. 6 matches. That's pretty good for how long was the show in total? What was it, like 3 hours?
2 hours. Not even. It was about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Was it
started
that short?
At 8 o'clock and ended at 10:10.
Wow, it was really 7:30. Because I think then the pre-show match started at 7:30.
Well, again, if you count in the pre-show,
I count it. I mean, I still
which
count
I didn't even watch it. So did you watch the pre-show?
I watched bits and pieces. I got into the program a little bit late. So
okay,
I didn't catch the whole thing. But no, nonetheless, it was less than 3 hours.
I mean, the main card. You know, it's kind of funny. It harkened back to the theme, and which is the pay-per-view itself, In Your House. Which that's what In Your House pay-per-views were. Obviously, they were even shorter than that. The original In Your House pay-per-views would start about 7 o'clock and end at 8:45.
Yeah, they were less than 2 hours.
They were less than 2 hours. So essentially, around 2 hours of time was this pay-per-view, kind of harkening back to the In Your House days.
I really liked it. I know we've talked on previous episodes.
I think it's a perfect length.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't mind having 5 or 6 matches because if you look at the times, I see the times right here.
Yeah, every match got 10 minutes. Some matches got 15 minutes or more.
That's fine because you know what? For me, it gives the competitors in the match enough time to build a story in the match. Because if you got one of those 2 or 3 minute matches, it's really hard to build a good story in the match. So if you have something that's closer to 10 minutes plus, that gives you enough time for all competitors in the match to build a good story to make it the best match they possibly can. So for me, overall, it was a good night. I really enjoyed every single aspect of the show. I thought it was fun.
Did you see Braun Strowman? He's not in WWE anymore, and you might know that for sure from his tweets.
Oh, yeah. I saw
with
that.
his girlfriend, Raquel Gonzalez.
So, wait, are they really a thing?
I imagine he wouldn't be defending her if they weren't really a thing.
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't get I got the vibe that they were just good friends. I didn't see anything out there that was like, oh, yeah, these two are together. They live together. They're together.
Probably how they want it. I mean, they're both public people. That's probably how they want it.
Probably not a bad thing.
The fact that you don't know for sure that they're together, that means that we're not going to see tweets out there like responding to WWE, a.k.a. when Renee Paquette gave birth the past week. All anyone could say is, don't acknowledge Jon Moxley. Don't acknowledge Dean Ambrose.
So, like, okay, like if you're the one doing that out, if you're the people doing it out there, you're dumb. That's absolutely stupid.
Yes,
that's dumb. That's plain dumb. And here's the thing: if Braun and Raquel are really together, cool. If they're just really good friends, that's cool too. I mean, I like the fact that now he's not. I mean, the fact that he's not working for WWE anymore. He came out and just ripped these people apart.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Raquel Gonzalez, they put out tweets or whatever that said essentially attacking Braun Strowman. That was pretty much like she's more manly than you.
Well,
that kind of stuff.
I mean, I don't remember the whole tweet, or the whole like thread, but wasn't it something along the lines of like, you got bigger pecs than she does, or something like that, or something along those lines. Like,
and then he said you have
really,
a bigger. She's got a bigger dick than you.
And it was a good reply. And here's the thing: it doesn't matter. Not every female competitor is going to have a big set up front and a big in the rear, so to speak. Like, you're not gonna. You don't have to have those. You don't have to be these bombshell divas, because these aren't divas.
I mean, I think Raquel Gonzalez is pretty attractive.
I think she's a pretty girl. I think she's pretty in her own way. I think she's
and plus
she
I think
is
she's
not
Luna Vachon. She is not Nicole Bass back in the day.
Okay,
she is
not
muscular but feminine at the same time.
Yes,
she is. I think Chyna was very good looking. Not maybe the original Chyna. I won't lie. When she got a little work done, not when she got a lot of work done. Then she started to get too much in the other direction. But that 2001 Chyna, I think was very pretty.
Yeah, and
I see she's not your cup of tea.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, and that's to each his own. I mean, Raquel Gonzalez, she is what she is. She's great at what she does. You know what? And that's the problem with social media, is like, you're trying to shame somebody for being healthy and looking healthy and feeling good. Literally, Braun came to their defense because he helped her get into the nutrition program to help her shape her body, get herself healthier. And if you have a problem with someone being healthy and not have to get plastic surgery done to look a certain way, like, that's dumb. Like, let people do what they're doing. Raquel's kicking some serious ass. I'm a big fan of her. I've been rooting for her, since she came out and did her thing. I've been talking about her being the breakout star, and she has been the breakout star, as I predicted. So enough with the hatred on there. Like, let people be people. They're she's good at what she does. Just leave it be.
Speaking of women in their natural bodies, we saw that this week as an enforcer for Eva Marie as she made her debut. Up from NXT UK, Piper Niven.
So is that like a call up from the double A? Instead of
she just skipped Triple A. I guess we talked about that as NXT. NXT UK is the NXT of NXT.
So it's like a double A.
So she made the call from NXT UK. But here's a gripe that I have, and a lot of people had this as well. And what is your opinion on this? When Piper Niven made her debut on Raw this past week and pretty much squashed Naomi, a lot of people were complaining, because myself included, that the announcers were going, "Who is this?"
Stop. You know who that is.
And I guess that's the thing. If they are advertising like, "Who is this? Who is this woman that we don't, with Eva Marie, that we don't know who this is? Who is this surprise?" The issue is that's fine when she's coming from AEW or Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor, because that's the gimmick. But NXT is, well, that's WWE.
It's WWE.
So when you are saying, who is this surprise opponent? Who is this person coming to the aid of Eve Marie? We've never seen this beast before. What you're saying is you don't watch NXT UK. So if Corey Graves, Byron Saxton, if you're not watching NXT UK, why should we?
Well, okay, let me flip the other coin. Let's flip it to the other side. So I think what they're doing, and I think it was just I think they were told to do it this way, is play it up like, oh, hey, we don't know who this is. They probably knew who the hell she was. But here's like, I
know they know who she is. But they would know who she was if she was a catering person.
It's based off of the storyline. It's really more about enhancing Eva Marie, is really what it is. That's what they're doing.
Yes,
nothing,
but I guess
against Piper Niven.
They obviously really, know who she is, but I'm just saying
Well, do they?
kayfabe.
I mean, come on. There's so much wrestling out there. Like, do you really think
You don't think that Corey Graves would recognize somebody that is a peer of his, an employee of WWE?
How do you know though? Because she obviously just got the call up, so she might even be just new over from across the pond for all we know.
No, she's been in NXT UK for a few minutes.
Yeah, but that's the UK. That's not.
That's NXT. But
that's not stateside. It's different.
it's owned by WWE.
That's not.
It's run by WWE.
So?
I'm imagining Corey Graves has probably been in the backstage at catering of NXT UK.
And this is
Byron Saxon. You're telling me he doesn't?
WWE is a big company. Just like any other company.
It's a televised show.
It's like going to a big high school. Do you know everybody? Do you know everybody that's graduating?
Okay,
no.
let's pretend that they in real life don't know. The point is though, the character Corey Graves and the character Byron Saxton are telling the audience at home that they don't know who that is.
We all know
but
it's a
the
play.
issue is,
if
they're telling us that they don't know who that is, then what they're telling us is they don't watch NXT
I wouldn't
UK.
say it's necessarily that way though. I just think I think it's more and I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm saying, the smarter wrestling fan or the one that understands it differently says, "Hey, they're playing this up to enhance Eva Marie." That's how I look at it.
Well, they can enhance Eva
but...
Marie. They can say that's Piper Niven from NXT UK. You hype that up. That's what you say. I mean, we talk about the NXT UK, right? We talk about it being the minor leagues or NXT in general of WWE. What do the minor leagues do when somebody's in the major leagues? They tweet it out. Hey, that's our guy. Hey, come out to our games because that guy played for us.
The difference is they're hyping up Eva Marie as a special attraction. That's why they're leaving her nameless, so to speak. Because when they went to say the winner of the match, and then Eva Marie gets on the mic, Eva Marie. Mm-hmm. So it's just part of the storyline. Don't read into it too much. It's just part of the storyline.
I understand it's part of the storyline. I'm just saying that, let's say AJ Francis, the guy who's on A&E's Most Wanted Treasure show, he goes
Top Dollar.
Yes. Okay. When he comes out, if they go, we've never seen this guy before. Is he off the streets? What they're telling us at home is, we don't watch A&E Most Wanted Treasures, and you probably don't either, because we don't know who this guy is.
Well, no, they're playing it into the storyline. They know them in a real.
Well, I know in a real sense, but that's not even the point. In a fake sense, in a real sense, it doesn't matter. What the point is if it's their talent, they shouldn't say they've never seen them before. If I own a Major League Baseball team and I'm trying to tell you all these guys are valuable, then when somebody walks out, I shouldn't say I've never seen that guy before. You own this team. You're promoting this team. You're selling his jersey.
Here's the thing. Or it creates intrigue where you're like, wait.
It doesn't create intrigue because we don't know where she came from. We're like, why would we watch NXT UK? You never bring up anybody from NXT UK.
You're not going to look up. So like, Eva Marie has that match where Piper does her thing and does the squash on Naomi. And here's the thing. I already knew who she was because I did some research and I kind of teased it last week on the show anyways. But if I'm not familiar with somebody and like if they were hyping it like, oh man, this lady's squash, I don't know who she is, like they're just hyping it up. That's gonna instantly with the new with phones and everything, you're gonna be like, oh, let me check this out.
So let me just ask you this. This will be the answer.
Okay.
Adam Cole makes his debut on Monday Night Raw. Corey Graves goes, who is this blue chipper? We've never seen this guy before. Who is this guy? Why does he think he gets a title shot?
It's different because
why?
It's different because Eva Marie and Adam Cole will be the same. It's their equivalents in that aspect. Piper is she's just a piece of it. Adam Cole came out to assist Eva Marie, and then Corey Graves goes, who is this with Eva Marie? Who is this guy with Eva Marie? They're not going to do that.
Why not?
They're not going to. Because here's the thing. Eva Marie, as much as we may agree or disagree, Eva Marie, WWE sees something in her. And they see that they want to make her a main attraction.
That has nothing to do with the fact that ignoring where Piper Niven came from, she's in your company.
Here's the thing. This is no disrespect to Piper, but Piper is essentially there to make Eva Marie look good. That's really what it comes down to. She's essentially, think of it this way. When the Wyatt family was doing what they were doing, when you had the late Luke Harper, you had Rowan, they were there to bring up Wyatt. That is it. That is how it looks. It's a different way to look at it.
So if Luke Harper was former NXT heavyweight champion and came in to help Bray Wyatt. Would Corey Graves go, I've never heard of this guy?
They wouldn't do that, though. WWE's not going to do that.
Why not?
It's not like Piper Niven. I don't know her whole stats, so I could
I'm
be
just
wrong.
saying she's an NXT UK.
Was she an NXT UK champion, though?
What? No, she wasn't.
Okay. If she was an NXT UK champion, I don't see her. I don't see them doing that.
I guess the point is, I'm trying to say is, yes, you can use her to hype her up. You can say it's Piper Niven from NXT UK assisting Eva Marie.
No,
Eva Marie got Piper Niven and brought her to the main roster.
Big deal, I don't see it as a big deal.
Because they're just pretending that if we don't know who this guy is, they're a stranger off the street. So what they're telling me is they never call up anybody from NXT UK. I watched Monday Night Raw this past week. They never call up anybody from NXT. They did. Well, how come they didn't say that they did?
Quick,
how come they're not advertising it?
Think of it this way: when Luke Harper debuted, this is a long time ago. When he was beginning in WWE, Bray Wyatt had him go to the ring, and you even hear the announcers, who the heck is this guy? They already knew who the guy was in real life. They're just like, they had to hype it up.
Again, we already know who everyone knows everyone in real life. I'm saying from a storyline perspective, if literally on Monday Night Raw, they told us, watch NXT this Wednesday. Here's the NXT TakeOver card. You got to watch this show. Triple H is in charge of it. It's a part of WWE. And here's the card. It's got Andrade. It's got Finn Balor. It's got Ember Moon. It's got all these people. And then Ember Moon and Finn Balor and Andrade show up on Monday Night Raw, and they go, who are these people? Who are these guys? Who are these masked assailants? We've never seen them before. They just coming off the street.
You just named competitors that were all champions.
Well,
and this is.
So you're saying it's because she wasn't a champion?
It's not that she was. I don't think she was.
If Xia Li shows up on Monday Night Raw and assists Eva Marie and is her, side person to help her win a match,
if she wasn't,
they're gonna go, who is this? Did this lady just coming off the street?
If this was before her whole.
No, this is now.
If this was now, no,
she's not champion.
No, here's the thing, but she's already in a developed storyline. That's the difference.
Well,
she's in this
Piper Niven was in developed storylines in NXT UK. They weren't popular. Nobody watches NXT UK, but she's there.
It's NXT UK is very.
No better way to get eyeballs on NXT UK than when you have someone show up on Monday Night Raw and you remind the fans at home that she was on NXT UK. That's why you should watch NXT UK.
Don't worry. Eva Marie's going to take care of that, okay? Mm-hmm. I promise you. Eva Marie, I'm going on the record and saying this right now. I would say next week or the week after, within the next couple weeks, I'm going to say this. Eva Marie is going to be like, just in case you do not know, this young lady is from NXT UK. This is Piper, and she'll hype her up and all this.
Or they give her a new name.
I saw her from across the pond. I saw all this, all these great things, hyping her the hell up. And then guess what? Then everyone's like, oh, man, Eva Marie gives her the stamp of approval. We're in.
Yes. Like if you own a minor league baseball team and somebody makes the majors, you're going to hype up that they made the majors because that's going to get more people to watch you. You're going to say, we've got people like Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. They came from here, and we got more of them coming. So come on out and watch the next ones of the future.
So let me ask you
why isn't WWE essentially saying, that's Piper Niven from NXT UK? But you can find that on Thursdays on the WWE Network and Peacock. Don't forget to watch it because the next Piper Niven is being brewed right now.
But here's what I'll say to the contrary. Eva Marie is a household name. I think we know this. So if Eva Marie is going to put
unfortunately,
I know how you feel. I think a lot of people feel just in ring whatever. But she's a name that people know, whether it's in the business or while she left the business after her first run and did things on social media. She's a known commodity. And if she comes out and gives her stamp of approval with the kind of interest that people are interested in what Eva Marie does, whether it's wrestling, fitness, whatever. If she says Piper Niven, she is fantastic. I found her from across the pond. My stamp of approval is on her. That's going to make it better than just like having her show up and Corey Graves. Yeah, this girl's from NXT UK. To me, I think it's a bigger picture.
One thing I kind of noticed, maybe I'm reading too much into it, we will see in the future, because it's kind of short. Obviously, the next NXT special, not pay-per-view event, is NXT Great American Bash.
Yes.
And in the logo, they had the crown from the Statue of Liberty in New York City. Now, I'm just saying it's probably a little too soon to announce that maybe that's going to be in New York City or something like that. It's probably a little too soon to actually have that event because it's only about 4 weeks away now. And
interesting.
And that moves but NXT still hasn't announced their return to the road for anything yet. So I'm just reading into that a little bit, but so far it seems improbable that NXT Great American Bash will be in New York City or anywhere outside of the Capitol Wrestling Center.
Sure.
Just throwing it out there before it happens or before anyone else throws it out there that potentially, I did see the Statue of Liberty crown in the logo. But speaking of people hitting the road,
yeah,
AEW, WWE, they're hitting the road.
Yes, they are.
And good news for you, because I know you've been clamoring to go to this AEW Dynamite show in Rochester.
Year and a half
that was
in the
originally
making.
scheduled for March.
Ugh.
Then it was moved to July.
Yep.
Then it was moved to November. I want to say, was it moved again?
I don't
From
remember.
November? I know it's currently in September. It's currently September the 29th.
Year and a half. Oh, man.
More than a year and a half, seems like. About a year and a half, I would say.
Yeah.
About a year and a half from its original day. And we were, a week away from going?
We were talking about it, and
Yes.
the Wednesday before is when things hit the fan, and
Yes.
that was it. And we're both like, you got to be shitting me.
Because it was
Like,
originally
come on.
scheduled for the 18th. And I think things hit the fans around like the 12th.
Yeah, it was like the second, like the first part of the second week of that Wednesday. I think it was like the first or second Wednesday, whatever it was
Yes.
in March. It was like the week before. I'm like, oh, come on. Couldn't this happen
wanna
like a week
say
after?
It was it was either the first or second show without fans. It might have been the first show without fans. I'm not mistaken. But the point is that you get a little more that it's going to stay September the 29th this time around.
And FYI, just for all of our fans out there, that's about a week after my birthday. Just want to let everybody know. So
All right.
if anybody wants to any birthday gifts or anything
Maybe
like that,
I would buy
feel
a
free.
garbage plate when we're in Rochester, but you won't take one of those.
I'll take a ticket. I'm putting you
Well,
on the
I mean,
spot.
tickets are only about $20, and unfortunately,
Oh, that's not bad.
it's probably not going to be. I mean, I'm not saying it's still going to be an AEW card. It should probably be still pretty good, but we're going to be coming up. The original was going to be going into Blood and Guts.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be coming off of essentially an AEW style, not pay-per-view, but a special Dynamite similar to the NXT Great
But
American Bash.
I think it'll still be good because you're going to have the fallout from the pay-per-view.
So it's going to be Grand Slam Dynamite, AEW. It's coming to you from Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York, or Flushing, New York, a week before the show in Rochester and about 2 weeks after the one in Newark. So they're going to make the one up in Newark, which was originally supposed to be Blood and Guts. That's middle of September. Then they go to New York City, their first trip to New York City. Rochester was supposed to be, I think, their first trip to New York.
Yeah, it was.
But unfortunately, they're going to, by the time they get to Rochester, they'll have been to New York because the week before they are going to Arthur Ashe Stadium. What do you make of that? Arthur Ashe Stadium, I think it's a unique place.
Yeah, that's where they play tennis.
That's where they play tennis, but it looks like an arena.
Yeah,
I think
look,
it fits like 16,000, 17,000.
It's a cool setup. It's going to be, I'm, you know what, I have to say, whatever AEW does with the setup, it's going to look sweet. I mean, AEW, the sets that they come up with, these, you know, even at the most recent pay-per-view, just the one entrance, just the way they did it was just so different, but it was so cool.
They
So
don't have
I'm
a lot of
excited.
room like an arena where they
Sure.
can push seats back,
No.
meaning they really just have the space for the tennis court.
Yep.
Like in other arenas, you can push seats back. Like you couldn't have Monday Night Raw there with the Monday Night Raw set because
No.
the seats, it's too much in cave.
But AEW and the
Which
the
makes
team
it a good
there,
view because everything's steeper versus like more spread out.
it'll look good. I mean, I think it's going to look fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing it. You know, we have a few months away.
they many years ago, I give credit. I think one of the coolest events that ever happened there, and actually, there's been multiple events. I didn't even know this until recently, but the New York Liberty played a game there. They put down a basketball court.
That's really cool.
They played a basketball game there. You have to have pretty good weather for that because you can't have any rain in the forecast when you're playing basketball.
Yeah, that
but
could be real
they
tricky.
did. They played the game. But actually, I didn't know this about a year or two later, and a few games. The New York Liberty played a bunch of home games at Radio City Music Hall. If you get a chance, go
Wow.
check it out. It's whether you like WNBA basketball or not, it's just something cool if you're a fan of just going to arenas and seeing different.
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
It is on YouTube. They actually
Yeah.
played a WNBA All-Star game at Radio City Music Hall. So go.
Even if you're not a WNBA fan, it's still interesting.
It's
to just check
cool
it out.
to see a sporting event like basketball played in a theater.
in a venue in general that you wouldn't expect a basketball game to be played.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
it's a theater. It's played on a stage.
Exactly.
Like you're watching a Broadway play, but you're watching basketball. So you're watching people sit in these nice plush seats with this, this awesome architecture of like a cool old theater.
But they're shooting hoops.
But they're shooting hoops
It's cool.
on stage.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah,
that's
so
that's a cool setup.
Yeah, no, it's a cool setup. It's similar to the setup that AEW is going to have when they go to Miami. We talked about that when
Yes.
they go to little. So far, a lot of people talking about AEW struggling with some ticket sales. A lot of people talking about WWE struggling with some ticket sales. But as for right now, SummerSlam is not struggling. Tickets have already gone on sale for SummerSlam. What rumors are saying is that they put 41,000 on sale, and once they sell those, they might expand it out to more. Yeah. And as of right now, I think they've sold pretty much all the 41,000.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Well, you got to, I mean, living in New York, I mean, things are, as of recording, things they're starting to open up. So we're, I think by summer's end, like I've been saying, I think we're going to be full bore and we're not going to have to worry about a thing. We're going to be back, I think, to normal. I think I think that's the word, normal at this point. And I'm excited because, September is around the corner, and I think at that point, I think we're going to be able to go on the road, a little heel to the face.
Maybe I might. I mean, as of right now, I might know tonight or not if I'm going to SummerSlam. I'm talking very closely with somebody who's already booked their trip to SummerSlam. And I am deciding I will be in Las Vegas the week before SummerSlam.
Talk about timing.
And I am deciding or not whether I am staying for another week to go to SummerSlam. It is very frustrating because it's something that you have to kind of get down. You have to kind of decide sooner than later because there's lots of things involved, lots of moving pieces, flights, hotels, stuff like that.
A lot of variables.
But the issue is, I would rather just fly back. I'd rather just come home than fly back, spend a weekend there, than spend a whole another week and a half in a place that I just spent a week and a half.
Yeah, but you know what? You'll find something to do. You're one of those. You're adventurous.
Things to do cost money. That's the thing. And when you're not making money and you're on quote unquote on vacation, every meal is out. Everything you do is out. You don't eat at home. You don't do any of that stuff.
I mean, Jared, if anybody can do it,
living in a hotel for 20 nights in a row gets a little bit pricey.
A little bit. You are not lying. That is a very good fact.
But the issue is staying in a hotel. I can pretty much stay in a hotel for another week for all of about I think it's like $80. I can stay in Las Vegas because it's Las Vegas and because of the deals that come with certain people and because I'm member of the MGM rewards here and the Caesars thing there.
Of course,
it'll cost me about $80 to stay another week in a hotel.
That's really not bad. I don't know why you're not doing it then.
Well, because each day involves money that you have to spend to eat. And obviously, I'm going to have been there for a week and a half before that, in which I'm going to spend a lot of money as well.
If you're going, if you do me a favor, make sure you go see Counting Cars or the Pawn Stars.
What is Counting Cars?
You don't know Counts Customs? One of the big cars. They're one of the. That's History Channel, man. You got to check it out.
I'll have nothing but time to do that.
So let's see. You got to go see Counts Customs, and then you got to go see the pawn shop, Gold and Silver, where the
I've seen where I've never gone to the store, but
you got to go check it out and buy something.
And I've gone to Las Vegas. I've never checked that out before. But I guess if that was the case,
you're gonna have time now. I'm just giving you some ideas. I'm sure
I've been looking up timeshare seminars. People like to avoid those things because they don't want to ruin their vacations. But if I got nothing but time, I'm looking to make some money while I'm there. If somebody's like, "Hey, you want to sit through this timeshare seminar for 2 hours for $200 or some free show tickets or free meal?" I got 2 hours.
I mean, hey, if there's a will, there's a way. And
I will wake up. I mean, can I get a job while I'm there for a week?
Wait, so do you get a continental breakfast every morning?
No, I don't think I do, unfortunately.
What? That's a shame.
Yeah, there's a buffet at my hotel that I can pay like $15 for, but again,
that adds up. 5 days, that's $75.
Now you know why $80 sounds cheap. I mean, why do you think they give you the hotel for $80? Because they know when you're there, you're spending.
You're
going
to spend way more. Yeah, I mean, it adds up.
But yeah, waking up every morning for 20 mornings in a row, and the first thing I see is a slot machine.
That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying
that's a bad thing if you're trying to save money.
It's a bad thing if you're losing.
So back to
we're getting off track.
Back to the
Vegas.
SB Awards here. WWE. Back to the SB Awards. I'm bringing it up for the first time. WWE is back to the SB Awards after taking 2020 off. The WWE category is returning to the SB Awards. Next week they're going to bring it down to the Final Four. But you at home have a chance to vote on what you think the WWE moment of the year. And right now, we got some matches. They got matches. You got to vote against one or another to move on to the Final Four. Dominic Mysterio making his in-ring debut at SummerSlam last year with his dad in his corner versus Roman Reigns returning to SmackDown with Paul Heyman.
Okay.
You got Pat McAfee punting Adam Cole versus Goldberg challenging Drew McIntyre for the belt. Yes, I'm choosing Pat McAfee. Goldberg challenging Drew McIntyre for the belt at the Royal Rumble. Yeah, that is not anything I'm picking, and I hope you're not picking that at home.
I don't
Keith Lee breaking Adam Cole's record 403-day reign as NXT champion at Great American Bash last year versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, becoming the first black women to battle in a WrestleMania main event.
Those both you named there, Keith Lee and Sasha and Bianca. Those are cool moments as well.
Yes. I think, and don't yell at me here, folks. Don't cancel me. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair becoming the first black women to battle in a WrestleMania main event. I don't think that is as big a deal because...
He said it.
Because women have... I think when women became the main event... Now we're starting to get off track. Like, women became the main event of WrestleMania for the first time at WrestleMania 35, and that was a big deal. So it's not like this would be a bigger deal if women had been doing this for a long time, and this was the first time that women of color became the main event, meaning that it's been women, but it's women of color, meaning women in general being the main event of WrestleMania is a big deal right now.
Nonetheless, it was a great match. I mean, Sasha and Bianca tore the house down. It was a great moment with Bianca. And I remember watching her dad. He was like going over the barricade. That was pretty cool. He was like got so excited he almost fell over the barricade. It was great. I mean, if I had to pick one though, I mean, I know there's a few other ones in there. I'm going with Pat McAfee.
We got Edge winning the 2021 Royal Rumble versus Kevin Owens stunning Logan Paul. I can tell you what, I was at WrestleMania. I'm picking Edge winning the 2021 Royal Rumble over Kevin Owens stunning Logan Paul.
So wait, are these like head-to-head?
These are head-to-head.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and then you pick, and then they move on to the next rounds. Sasha Banks winning the Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell, or pick Randy Orton sets The Fiend on fire at TLC. Seeing Randy Orton setting The Fiend on fire at TLC was a low light for me because that was ridiculous and ended up becoming absolutely garbage of a storyline.
I mean, the Sasha Banks match was fun. So.
I'm going to just pick Sasha Banks because I hate that Randy Orton set The Fiend on fire at TLC. I thought that was overkill. That would be like going out of your way to be like picking the explosion from AEW's Revolution.
Oh, we're going back to that.
But I'm just saying, you wouldn't pick it as a good moment.
No, obviously
it's a moment you should ignore.
not.
So Randy Orton setting The Fiend on fire at TLC should actually probably be ignored more than celebrated. Undertaker celebrating his 30th anniversary and giving his final farewell versus Bobby Lashley winning the championship for the first time. That's a tough one right there. Those are both moments worthy of celebrating.
Yeah, that's a toughie. Bayley
turning on Sasha Banks or Bad Bunny and Damian Priest at WrestleMania. Unveils the Bunny Destroyer.
That's a tough one too.
Yeah, because Bad Bunny, he did well. He did well at WrestleMania, and then finally Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble, or The Miz cashing in Money in the Bank at Elimination Chamber.
That's splitting hairs.
I guess I'm picking Bianca Belair because The Miz cashing in, he became the first 2-time Grand Slam champion, but lost about a week later.
Yeah, I mean that's the only. I mean the headline is good. Oh, actually, really quick, breaking news. Sorry to cut you off. So AEW Dynamite is officially heading to NYC. It's officially announced for Arthur Ashe Stadium. Okay, cool.
Thank you for breaking the news we already broke here. This is what. See, I don't need my phone turned on. We already broke this news.
Yeah, I just happened to look down. I was like, we just talked about.
You're
that.
like the guy from Anchorman, where you just read anything off a teleprompter.
Well,
meaning you could have read that to yourself and realized, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
No, then you just read it out loud.
I had to read it out loud because I'm like, okay, well, it's official, so that's cool. I mean, I knew you were. I knew.
Well, yeah, it was official when they posted it earlier.
Yeah, but I got
when Tony Khan talked about it.
If I get it on Bleacher, it's official in my book.
So this Sunday is not King of the Ring. It hasn't been King of the Ring for a very long time, since I think 2002 was the last King of the Ring.
It's been a long time,
unfortunately. And it is going to be WWE Hell in a Cell. What was one time a really important match in WWE is now one that they want to get out of the way when there's no fans, because when there's fans, there's more important things than Hell in a Cell. I mean, Hell in a Cell, that's what we do when we don't have fans. You know, we don't need Hell in a Cell is when we don't want to sell tickets. We need Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, those will sell tickets. But Hell in a Cell, let's put that in the Thunderdome. Let's get that pay-per-view out of the way for better things to come. Who would have ever thought that when Hell in a Cell made the debut? Who would have ever thought that when we saw Mick Foley fall off the cell, that this match was going to be used for when we wanted to have no fans in attendance to save more important matches for down the line? But either way, Hell in a Cell, this Sunday on pay-per-view or on WWE Network, Peacock, wherever you're going to watch it. Let's go over some things. Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, one of the worst moments to a lot of people on Monday Night Raw. It's turning into a match at Hell in a Cell.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Who do you see winning this, and who do you care winning this?
I don't care about this match, and that's nothing against Alexa and Shayna, because I really enjoy what they both do. I mean, if I got to pick one, I guess I'm going to have to go Alexa.
All right. I mean, yeah, I'm probably picking Alexa here. Yeah. I mean, they got to continue that storyline wherever it is going. I don't know.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio, they've been fighting for so long. They haven't been. But either way, they're going to be inside Hell in a Cell for the first time that they kind of meet. This is really not needed. Hell in a Cell, see, it used to be to blow off big feuds. Now it can be used as a gimmick. Like we saw with the Usos, that was pretty decent a couple years ago.
It was, yeah.
But it's not what it was. It's now it's more or less a gimmick.
And you know who
than it is like a blood feud.
I mean, we already know the outcome, so keep moving.
So yeah, Roman Reigns is obviously winning that match. Bianca Belair and Bayley not inside Hell in a Cell, and this is why that's a dumb name for a pay-per-view, because Bianca Belair and Bayley at Hell in a Cell, but not in Hell in a Cell. You got to make sure you know that ahead of time.
That makes zero sense.
Yes. So who's winning this?
I think Bianca. I think Bianca's going to hang on to that belt for a while.
Rhea Ripley against Charlotte, also not in Hell in a Cell. We have 2 men's Hell in a Cell matches.
So what the hell's
no women's Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah,
you at least got to have 1 women and 1 men. But this time around, it's 2 men's Hell in a Cell matches, which I again, I like it when there's one of each.
Yeah,
because you get a little
just mix it up.
diversity going on there, mixing it up. But who you got? Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair?
That to me, ooh, that's a tough match. I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Charlotte.
I'm going to go with Charlotte as well because something's got to happen. We got to have some sort of title changes. We haven't in a while, like Bobby Lashley. I mean, think about it. If him and Roman Reigns defended at WrestleMania, and here they are still champion. Question: this last chance Hell in a Cell match. Unfortunately, we just talked about them both retaining at WrestleMania, them still being champion to this day, and with SummerSlam on the horizon and much bigger fish to fry, I think Bobby Lashley's retaining.
Yeah, I'm with you. And here's the other way I look at it as well. If you're going to, you got Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, and you also have Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. One of those titles is changing hands.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think, like you said, there's bigger fish to fry. I think Drew's run its course, and maybe with the SmackDown or Raw and SmackDown draft coming up very soon, and at the end of the summer,
that gives Drew McIntyre a new chance at the belt on the other side of the aisle.
Imagine that, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. I'm in for that.
All right. Well, yeah, it reminds me a little bit of, remember the JBL thing going on where like it was John Cena and JBL kind of feuding back and forth.
Yeah.
And then Batista Triple H. And Batista Triple H fought like 3 pay-per-views in a row. And Triple H, Batista beat them all. And then JBL lost to John Cena, I think 3 pay-per-views in a row. And then in the summertime, they swapped it. Then it was JBL versus Batista.
And you know what? Just mentioning JBL, that was a very underrated title run, that long run that he had. He was a good champion.
I mean, that's what they did. He lost to John Cena 3 months in a row. Batista beat Triple H 3 months in a row. What do? You switch him up. John Cena, as champion, now takes on Triple H. Triple H just lost to Batista 3 months in a row, but he didn't lose to John Cena.
One last note, speaking of John Cena. So John Cena says, I was reading some articles online that he's open to becoming a heel if he makes another run. John Cena is a heel. Are you buying or are you selling?
I mean, I think when he comes back, because people have just missed him in general, he'd have to come back immediately as a face.
And then turn heel.
And then turn heel.
Yep.
That would be interesting nonetheless. I hope he comes back.
Hey, Hulk Hogan did it with the NWO. So
it's all about what Vince wants to do. And, well, I guess the thing is John Cena's been on the shelf long enough that how many toys has he been selling? So if he's not selling toys, then we can turn him heel. Because that's what it's all about.
You got that right.
So another edition of the Heel to Face podcast is in the book. As we mentioned, Hell in a Cell this weekend. We will be here next week to wrap up Hell in a Cell and talk all about that, as well as anything else in the world of professional wrestling. The final show of June. Wait, I think we got one more show.
Yeah, I think we do.
I forget. Either way.
We got one more.
June, I mean, it's flying through June regardless.
Yeah.
We're already through the middle of June right now, heading into Hell in a Cell, which that's why I used to love King of the Ring, because it meant the end of school. Like it was the first pay-per-view I could stay up without a bedtime.
Wasn't it the best?
Those were the good old days.
You
so
got it.
For Brandon, myself, Jared, this has been another edition of the Heel to Face podcast, and we will see you next week.